Two-time Four Continents champions Caitlin Weaver and Andrew Poje return to the stage ready to defend their title. But they'll be hard-pressed by two American couples. 2015 World and Four Continents silver medalists Madison Chock and Evan Bates eager to get revenge. Gold on their mind. But newly crowned national champs Maya and Alex Shibutani are poised to upset the frontrunners and steal the show.
Easily number one.
That was beautiful.
That was inspirational. That was everything that a figure skating performance
Chills right now. I was on the edge of my seat. That's how it's done.
NBC Sports presents the ISU Four Continents Championships from Taipei City, Taiwan. Hey folks, how are you? We're at the Taipei Arena for the free dance alongside Olympic and two-time world champion Charlie White. I'm Jason Horowitz. After this short dance, the Shibutanis first place by 0.4 of a point over the pair from Canada, Weaver and Poje. And Charlie, they are in position for a huge opportunity today.
Absolutely. And 0.4 is it's a virtual tie. Canada, it really is.
Piper Gilles and Paul Poirier.
This is the first group that we will see today. Piper Gilles and Paul Poirier, the couple from Canada. They were fifth after the short dance.
Nicely in tune with another, covering the ice quite well. These guys known for a little bit of an eccentric style. They really bring their personalities to the ice in a lot of ways, and I think that separates them quite nicely from the other teams. There you can see Paul showing his strength on that spinning lift. That's very difficult.
And that personality, Charlotte, really more so in ice dance than any of the other parts of figure skating, right?
Absolutely. You really have the opportunity to tell a story and to show the world who you are through this art. And of course, you want to weave in the technical aspects, but so much of it is the energy that you create and the story that you tell. Setting up for their combination spin with a change of music. And here you can see that they're able to spin both directions. That adds a level of difficulty and is also just very difficult. A lot of skaters really only feel comfortable spinning one direction.
And you can hear the music pick up and the energy pick up. Do the judges expect the performance to pick up when that happens?
Absolutely, yeah. And I think that, you know, as they sort of continue with this program, you're going to see that grow. That's just a great way to sort of finish the program with a higher energy than you started. It gives off a really strong impression. again, back-to-back, very difficult lifts, very well executed, you know, musical, just really showing, again, Paul's strength. I mean, he is one strong kid, and those lifts are not easy, but he makes them look very easy. That's something that the judges really appreciate.
That's a 28-year-old calling a 24-year-old a kid, ladies and gentlemen.
I'd like to see a little bit more flow from them on their step sequences here. You know, lots of intricate steps, but I think just the flow, the ease across the ice, I think they could make it a little bit faster, and I think that would be something the judges would look for as well.
Gilles and Paul Poirier, the silver medalists, the Canadian Nationals for a second straight season, trying to improve on where they were after the short dance. They were in 5th. We will get their scores. And the final groups coming up as the free dance from the 4 Continents Championships continues. Gilles and Paul Poirier, 4th place finish at last year's 4 Continents. They were 5th coming into the free dance, Charlie.
Yeah, absolutely. And they're really setting the tone right from the beginning of that program. And, of course, getting the twizzles out of the way early, that's something that a lot of teams like to do. It's oftentimes the most stressful element. And to be able to skate through the rest of your program knowing that that's accomplished, it gives you a sense of ease.
And this pair didn't qualify for the Grand Prix final, and a lot of times I would think that would be a disappointment. They said it really helped them propel to their 2nd place, their silver medal at Canadian Nationals, and get ready for this competition as well.
Absolutely, and I mean, they just missed out, and they know that they're capable of making it. You know, it just gives you time to really consider what mistakes were made, what areas you need to improve, and I think that, you know, they've shown those improvements here. I think that they still have room to improve going into the World Championships, but I expect that they'll be able to make those, you know, in short order.
Gilles, former partner with Zach Donohue, who we will see later.
Interesting the way that works. Interesting it's sort of the way the world turns in ice dancing.
Paul Poirier from Canada.
Here come the scores. 98.27 and a 162.19, a season's best. For now, it puts them into 1st.
Currently in 1st place.
But with 5 pairs still to come, Charlie, that score might not necessarily hold up for the podium when it's all said and done.
No, and I think that, you know, for them, that's a high score, but they can certainly aim higher.
Next to skate, Kana Muramoto and Chris Reed, representing Japan. And Chris Reed used to dance with his sister Kathy Reed up until last year. And he and Kana Muramoto got together in June, and they are coming off their first national championship and bring that momentum here to Taipei City.
Guys opening up with their circular step sequence and a certain youthful exuberance to their program. You know, it's a little bit more old school, very different in style from Piper and Paul. You know, but it certainly suits them. I honestly, I thought that intro was cute. I thought it was a great way to start their program to set the mood. The difficult entrance into this curve lift. Nice ease into and out of it. that's going to help their score.
And Charlie, you trained at the same rink as Chris Reed when he was with Kathy Reed. Is this really his personality, or are they putting on this great show?
No, they're really putting on a great show. I mean, Chris is pretty reserved, but he's a hard worker, and he's really committed himself this year. I think when you change partners, that's really a decision you have to make. And I think these guys should be proud of the progress that they've made, and this is a big step for them. They're performing well so far. Twizzle sequence looked maybe a little bit uncomfortable there for a second, but they held on, fought through it, and overall that was pretty strong. Here you can see them really focusing on the edges during their diagonal step sequence. And with music like this, it's important to be able to keep that high energy all the way through, including through those technical elements. And I'd like to see just a little bit more sort of pop from them to keep it a little bit fresher, a little more exciting.
And match the wardrobe as well. I mean, that's all part of the performance.
Exactly, yeah. And, you know, lifts, the energy really takes care of itself on the lift. It's the in-between skating, you know, just a little bit more power, and it can create a totally different atmosphere. Muramoto and Chris Reed representing Japan just 8 months after becoming a pair. That's an impressive performance for them. They've come a long way in frankly, a very short amount of time. And they should be very happy with that, and it looks like they are.
Muramoto and Chris Reed.
And Charlie, as we look at what they did here in their free dance, I mean, this is not a pair that has a whole lot of experience together. Just 2 competitions on the Grand Prix circuit and then at Nationals, and that's it.
That's true, yeah. Both of them, you know, had quite a few years with previous partners. And, you know, the basic understanding of ice dance can take you a long way. But I think they've really ratcheted up their level of difficulty and the amount that they've committed to just being the best that they can be in the sport. And you can see, even through lifts like this, the expressions on their faces are staying true to the character, despite the physically demanding aspect, you know, of the spin. Look, I mean, it stayed adorable, it stayed cute, exactly what you want. And you don't want your elements to just be elements for the sake of, you know, racking up points. You really want them to fit into the framework of the program, and I thought that they did a really nice job of that all the way through. Could have used a little bit more energy maybe on their step sequences. Their edging was nice, maybe a little bit more knee bend from them from time to time. Just it makes the skating look easier, but huge steps in the right direction. Overall, like I said, they should be very happy. What did you think? Did you buy in?
I bought in. I mean, you see the colors immediately, and you saw the steps and the goofy face right before they started, and they got excited, and they brought people into the crowd too.
That's right.
Chris Reed from Japan have earned in the free dance
an 88.7 in the free dance. That's their best score by 7 points on the season. They move into 3rd place, and for now, Piper Gilles and Paul Poirier still sitting in 1st. The final group taking the ice. We'll see the Shibutanis. We'll see the Canadian champs when we return. This event has been licensed by the International Skating Union, Lausanne, Switzerland. For this exclusive broadcast, all worldwide rights to this event are expressly reserved to the International Skating Union. Unauthorized reproduction and use of this event is strictly prohibited. Final group on the ice. The final four pairs set for their free dance. Madison Hubbell, Zach Donohue will skate first, Charlie.
That's right. They've had a wonderful season. They've had a change of coaching, a change of scenery, and it's really paid off for them. I think that they should be really happy with where they're at, but also looking forward to, under the continued guidance of Marie-France and Patrice, their new coaches in Montreal, a lot of success. And what's amazing is that they're third in the country with the amount of talent that they have.
And this group is first. Maya Shibutani and Alex Shibutani coming off their first national championship.
Absolutely, and that was a huge victory for them. Emotional, I would say. They brought the crowd into it at the U.S. Championships and cemented their lead by doing that with an outstanding free dance that I'm looking forward to seeing again. And in fact, I don't know if I can see enough of it.
Yeah, and the question is, can they repeat it? Gold medalists at the Grand Prix trophy in Japan, the silver medalists at the Skate Canada. A little disappointed, I think they said they were, with their fourth place finish at the Grand Prix final.
Absolutely, but it's been a ride, you know, and that's part of it is showing that improvement.
And Caitlin Weaver and Andrew Poje have certainly done that. They have been top of the podium pretty much the whole way for Canada and around the world the last couple of years, particularly since Tessa Virtue and Scott Moyer retired from competition. And then you get to Evan Bates and Madison Chock and the whole question of the artistry of the sport, Charlie.
Absolutely, yeah. And what we'll be looking for in this last group and what I really want to have everyone at home focusing on is just the connection between the skaters and their music, the stories that they're telling. I think the energy that you can create through that is so much of what decides the judges' minds.
The final group, the race for the podium, when we return to the Four Continents Championships.
Of America, Madison Hubbell and Zachary Donohue.
The pair that was third after the short dance, trying to earn a podium as we welcome you back to the Four Continents Championships in Taipei City. Madison Hubbell and Zach Donohue getting set for their free dance.
Right into the twizzle sequence from the beginning, and there's such an ease to their skating style. I think that's maybe what I appreciate the most. A lot of people, you know, look at their connection, but to me, figure skating just looks easy to them. This is their circular step sequence, and it's important to really try to stay on the beat of the music. You can see that they're doing a good job of that, while also really focusing on their knee bends, making sure the edges are going to be there so they can get the technical level that they need to get the highest possible score.
And you said it's their connection that people like on the ice. What separates the best groups, the best pairs, the best dancers in the world from the ones that are just off the podium?
Absolutely. A lot of the time it's the way that they can relate to one another. And so much of that is just being secure in who you are as a performer and recognizing that you have the ability to tell a story. The way that they're able to transport themselves, I think, into this music with each other is something that separates them from most of the world. Nice rotational lift there, change position from her, get the highest level of difficulty.
They came to Taipei City, Madison Hubbell and Zach Donohue, with the intention of getting on the podium. They won gold at the Four Continents 2 years ago. Came into the free dance in fourth. And Charlie, with what you saw, again, 3 groups still to come, will they be in contention for that?
I think absolutely. From a technical standpoint, you could see going into and out of their elements, their lifts, their twizzle sequence, they look strong and in control. They have a beautiful ease across the ice, and I think that's going to help them. Where I think they're going to struggle against some of the other teams, though, is what I talked about during the warm-up, and that's just the energy that you create on the ice. And I think that they really did their part. I think that their music is just not as stirring as some of the other pieces, and it's harder as an audience to connect to that. And I think that the same can be said for the judges. But having said that, beautiful skaters, very talented, elements were well done. It's hard to ask for much more, but at the end of the day, you know, it's a competition. You got to be able to separate these guys, and I think, if anything, it was an uphill battle because of their musical choice against some of the pieces that we're going to see coming up.
And 3 groups still to come.
Madison Hubbell and
the scores for Hubbell and Donohue. They did have a deduction, but 102.93 and 172.29 puts them into first right now, ahead of Piper Gilles and Paul Poirier. The question is, will it hold with 3 groups still to come? But that is a season's best. That is a personal best for Hubbell and Donohue, 172.29. The American champs, Maya and Alex Shibutani, coming off their first national title. And Charlie, you had to experience all the excitement that comes with that first national title.
Absolutely. A lot of experience, but a lot of expectations as well. And it's something that we're going to have to see them deal with in their first competition since becoming national champions. Can they bring the same level of enthusiasm despite that pressure?
You don't succeed when you get what you want but not what you need, when you feel so tired but you can't sleep, stuck in reverse.
A beautiful exit from that difficult curve lift from Maya and Alex. Right into their dance spin. I love the way that they just weave these elements into their choreography. Here they are doing their circular step sequence to another Coldplay tune. And I think what works so well is that we all know Coldplay, and you can really fill in your own emotions. And I think we all connect with the music, and they leave that breath, that space for you to do so. And it makes it easier to connect with their program. And that's something that takes a lot of emotional maturity, and I think that's a big step for Maya and Alex.
This a different story than Coldplay told at halftime of the Super Bowl.
Absolutely.
But they are telling this story very well.
Just beautifully timed twizzle sequence with the music. I mean, if you want to get the crowd into your program with twizzles, that's the way to do it.
Charlie, you competed against these American groups, all of these groups for years. How much have the Shibutanis grown as ice dancers?
Tremendous amounts. You know, and so much of it is fighting through a program like this where you're not at the top because it's not the national championships, it's not the worlds, but you come prepared and you can give 100% and you can see that's exactly what they're doing. It's very inspirational. And here at the end of their diagonal step sequence, you can really just see that they're giving it everything they have.
Lights will guide you home, and I will try to fix you.
The Shibutanis, Maya and Alex, were in first after the short dance by 0.4 of a point over Caitlin Weaver and Andrew Poje. You said it wasn't the top performance, but it was a good performance.
Yeah, I don't think that was quite as good as their national championship performance, but it was exactly what it needed to be at this moment in time. And so much of being a competitor is knowing how to get the job done when you need to do so.
And we'll check their scores and see if they're still on top when we return. Jason Horowitz, Charlie White, back with you at the Four Continents Championships. Maya and Alex Shibutani trying to take over from Madison Hubbell and Zachary Donohue.
Yeah, and here's their opening curve lift. You can see the concentration on their faces and the difficulty, the acrobatics that go into that lift are quite impressive. Keeping good speed on their spin, that's something the judges are going to look for. Nice layback position from Maya, and boom, right transitioning into the steps right out of it. That's a big plus.
Charlie, you mentioned the fact that it's not nationals, it's not worlds, and the timing of Four Continents. And frankly, you mentioned energy as being the biggest factor for all of them.
Absolutely. I would say as a competitor, you're just not as emotionally charged up for the Four Continents competition. Now, having said that, you recognize the importance. You want to build momentum leading into the World Championships, and you have to fight if you really want to be able to show the judges that you are ready. And these guys did exactly that.
From United States of America have earned in the free dance
A 108.76, their personal best, 181.62. That is 7 points better than they have ever done on the international level, and they easily move into first place past Madison Hubbell and Zachary Donohue. The question, though, will that hold for the Shibutanis? Guaranteed a spot on the podium, but their lead heading into the free dance was 0.4 of a point over Caitlin Weaver and Andrew Poje, who, Charlie, have been at the top of the podium with all the exception of one major competition the last 2 years.
Yeah, these guys have been on fire, and their skating and their performances, I think, have really shown that they're putting the training in, they're putting the work in practice, and you know, we'll just have to see how much fight they brought to this competition. A little bit of difficulty on that last twizzle there from Andrew, and that's going to affect the technical score. They kept the speed quite nicely, and he recovered well, but that level will go down.
Today you are young. Too soon you're old. But while a voice within me cries, I'm sure someone may answer my call. And this bitter earth what good am I? What good am I?
Beautiful split position from Caitlin there,
Heaven only knows.
getting right up into that lift. Beautiful exit out of it.
And how much is judged on those transitions?
Quite a bit. I mean, that's really what makes ice dance. And a little bit of a struggle here on the stance spin. I kind of get the feeling that their legs aren't really underneath them, and sometimes that happens at a competition like this. So two technical errors for them so far. That's going to be tough to overcome. Let's see if they can pull it together.
And remember, they trailed the Shibutanis by 0.4 of a point after the short dance.
And another foot down by Andrew there at the end of that lift. Again, that's going to affect the technical mark, but also the grade of execution. He just didn't look comfortable there. And you know what? This is just one of those performances that, again, you talk about fight. These guys are doing a great job, but you know it's clear that they're not on their A game.
Does the point total that the team just in front of you just got come into your head when you take the ice?
Sometimes you try to block it out as much as possible. You know that all you can do is control your own skating. But that was a big score from the Shibs, and they were winning. So who knows if that's something that entered into these guys' heads. Finishing with a nice curve lift there.
The Canadian national champs and the defending four-continent champs, Caitlin Weaver and Andrew Poje, but they had a large mountain to overcome to reach the Shibutanis. Charlie said they had a couple of technical errors. We'll find out what the judges had to say when we return to the Four Continents Championships. Andrew Poje, Caitlin Weaver, hitting a large score to beat the Shibutanis after their free dance.
Yeah, and you could just see the look of the stress on their faces sitting in the kiss and cry. And this is one that they'll just want to forget about, move on. They're honestly, they're so much better than this performance. And it's been shown so many times in the past. I think that judges will be forgiving. But ultimately, this just wasn't their competition. And there you can see the twizzle sequence, just not comfortable from Andrew there. This split lift was quite nice. That's very difficult for him, leaning back like that. A very interesting exit.
And they have a lot to prove, too, because this is the longtime #2 team behind Tessa Virtue and Scott Moyer. And, they've stepped to the forefront of Canadian ice dance. But the bronze medal at last season's World Championships, they're hoping for much better than that this year. And see the scores here for the two and see where they sit.
Yeah.
173.85. It puts them in front of Hubbell and Donohue, but behind Shibutani's for first. So they sit in second with one couple still to go, Madison Chock and Evan Bates. So the silver for now, podium guaranteed, but probably not what they wanted.
Nope. They're going to go home and they're going to work hard. They'll be ready for the World Championships.
So our final ice dancers, Madison Chock and Evan Bates, second at Nationals in the Twin Cities after a national championship last year. They were beaten by the Shibutanis in Minneapolis, trying to return the favor here in Taipei City. They sat in fourth after the short dance.
Very nice curve lift to open the program, and just a beautiful piece of Rachmaninoff music. I think these guys have really grown with this program, and I already really like the way they started. The serpentine step sequence, I think, is really enhanced by the music. Their ability to hit the notes, the ease with which they transfer their weight, their partnering skills. It fits together so seamlessly. I think this is a real highlight when it comes to step sequences. executed twizzle sequence, which they've struggled with a bit this year. So I think the rest of this program, I'm gonna bet they feel like that monkey is off their back, and I wouldn't be surprised to see maybe the best program we've seen from them this year.
Some of those programs that we've seen, they've had a lot of success in the short dance, but maybe lost the lead in the free dance. This time, they have to make up the ground in the free dance.
Absolutely, and I think coming from behind can oftentimes help you skate your best. You feel like you have nothing to lose. Just highlighting the music so well with these elements. This is the energy that I'm talking about, creating, and I really feel like they've set themselves apart in this program. And they finished like they felt it too. That was excellent. Great program.
Very strong performance from Madison Chock and Evan Bates. Silver medalists last year at the Four Continents.
Silver world medalists. These guys have been through a lot already, and they should be very. I mean, look at those smiles. They're not faking those smiles. They're really happy with that performance. They know they did everything they could, and as a competitor, that is such an amazing feeling to be able to step out there, to know that you have some ground to make up, and to feel like you were really physically able to do that. It's an outstanding feeling, and kudos to these guys.
And you said it started right from the beginning, that you felt the energy between them, and the effort was going to be there.
Absolutely, and you know, right from this first lift, the spin, I mean, it had a lot of speed. You could see the connection between the two of them, the energy that they were creating. You could tell that they felt the music, and more so this competition than any so far. And like I said, this is a difficult competition, so I think it's going to give them a lot of confidence leading into the World Championships, which already are going to be in the United States. That's something that this is something that they can build on, big time. You know. Oh, and I mean the positions from Maddie on these lifts. The ease with which they transferred into and out of them, you know, I harp on that a lot, but it's something that I think separates the teams so much, and it's not easy. I mean, these teams make it look easy, and I think it's worth saying just how difficult so much of this is.
And they, just like the Shibutanis, so much success on the Grand Prix level, yet to win gold on a major international competition. And with 174.64, it will be Maya and Alex winning gold at Four Continents. Madison Chock and Evan Bates for a second straight year taking the silver.
Absolutely. Huge steps for the top two American teams to come out here and to perform the way they did was great. And there's still a lot of work to do.
And they know it, but they're going to enjoy their first major championship gold medal after winning nationals as well. So the Shibutanis taking gold at the Four Continents, while Chock and Bates with the second straight year silver. Weaver and Poje, the defending champions here at the Four Continents, falling to the bronze medal. It was a wonderful performance by the defending national champs, and they'll try to carry that to the Worlds as well. Stay tuned for more figure skating from the Four Continents Championships. Charlie White, I'm Jason Horowitz.